you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Ahoy there, mateys, and welcome aboard Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your captain, Jimbob Shorts, and tonight I think we're just gonna have a kind of mild hangout conversation. Nothing big and major planned for you guys. There's all kinds of things going on in the world. Hope you guys are appreciating my fantabulous Irish gear I got going on as we're closing into my favorite holiday, at least, because being a leprechaun, I kind of really dig St. Patrick's Day. It's the one day a year that everybody kind of digs into the coolness that I am sometimes. So, you guys are welcome to come and join us and check things out tonight if you're watching over there on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and of course YouTube. So we appreciate all of your support and your continued watching and stuff. We're getting closer and closer to episode 200. So I think that's something. Of course, we surpassed episode 200 with just our episodes in general a little while back, but just the episodic number 200. Maybe we'll have to have something big planned. I'll have to drag the whole crew in here tonight. But of course, for tonight, we have minimal crew. I've got everyone's favorite, possibly AI. I'm still not 100%, but I love the dude myself. Luis, how are you doing this evening?
Beep beep pop pop. Substance not available. Substance not available.
Him not to be him.
How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I haven't eaten since Sunday.
You did say you were on day 3 of a fast when we were talking to you earlier, and then of course we get into a conversation about food. My apologies.
Oh yeah, the
don't know why
chat
this
was
happens
like
every time.
instantly ding 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 ding. Because you think no, I want carbs, sugars. I want all the sugars. Because we become so addicted to this stuff,
I mean, it's been hidden and crammed in just about everything. When you start seeing where sugar is, that I don't understand why people put it in there. Like it baffles me. Like
It is literally in stuff you wouldn't ever imagine,
a great
especially because our friends up in the north, they're sugar creators.
well I have a sugar refinery up the road from me. I've actually seen it, and the sign on the side of the road says "Sugar, the new crude."
They
Yeah,
wish.
right. But
It was, and what's really fascinating, if you really start to look into it, is that it looks like sugar was the foundation of slave trade.
I mean, sugar was
Well, transatlantic slave trade.
sugar was definitely a lot of things for sure. I mean, they, they've hidden medical things about it and stuff like that, and blamed other things for the damage that it does for sure. Like, and you were mentioning being in just random things. I like to make my own tomato sauce and stuff, whether it be for pizza or for spaghetti or whatever it is. I like to make my own, and I didn't realize that most people make theirs and they add sugar to it. Like I've never done that. Like I've always made mine. I guess with good tomatoes. I don't know what the problem is here. Like I didn't realize that was a thing until recently when I heard some people on like YouTube and TikTok Shorts adding sugar to tomato sauces that they were making. I'll have to ask Bandit if he does it to his, because that's just not something I do. I feel that if you season everything right, like there's a proper sweetness, especially if you're using a Salazan tomato. Like those are proper Italian style tomatoes to make sauce with.
I don't know about those.
Well, it's a style, it's a growth. It's one of the ones that still survive. That is like an heirloom type tomato. Um, they're very plum shaped almost. They're almost like plum tomatoes. Uh, they're darker in color, and they're I don't know, they're just naturally sweet. You can just eat them off the thing, just straight up. They're fantastic things. Maybe we'd be more familiar with them if we would have ever followed through with the war plan red, like we were talking about here before we got started. Uh, because we've seen that post earlier this week. Everybody talking about the 100th anniversary of when America planned on invading Canada, and it turns out it was a whole thing. They were talking about invading the entire British Empire from Canada to Europe to Australia to India. Even Ireland was in this mix. Like, quite wild if you ask me.
Well, it's not America if war is not involved, right?
I mean, that's what it seems. I mean, that's what it seems to me. Like my entire life, it seems we've been at war. Like
But why do you think that is?
money.
Well, beyond that, what's beyond? What's above and below that? What's the popularity of utilizing war as a profit motive and a power motive exclusively? I mean, we've created our society based off all of these things, but it's meaningless right now. It's
True.
completely a fabrication of the system in order to force compliance.
True.
But as
True.
but as somebody was joking, it's like, oh, what happens when we
So
have machines that can do all the labor? Then
so
the
and I want to go back and tell you, you were asking me who was the president during the time of this making of War Plan Red, which was through 1919 to 1939. And if you go to the list, that means it was started by that dirty bastard Woodrow Wilson, continued by Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, and Herbert Hoover, and 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 that commie Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
well, at least they didn't do it.
And this is both
Canada's
sides.
safe.
This is both sides of the fence. If you go back in history, if people want to like who's the warmongering side, well, they're both they're Democrat, Republican, Democrat. Like it's both sides. Like they're just warmongers, and they always have been. I think. Like the last president that I don't think was a warmonger would have to be Jackson, because he was the only one that actually fought banks
Didn't they try to kill Jackson?
multiple times and failed.
He he wasn't by what I
He was
remember, he was
he was a
insane.
badass. He was a
Didn't
badass.
didn't he didn't he didn't he actually like duel someone and kill them?
He used to settle disagreements in the form of duel. Like he's like the most dueling president there ever was. And then he, of course, like he didn't let the central bank like decree or whatever renew. Like he was like, nah, central banks ain't controlling the United States. And that's when he got shot. Like the day after that, he got shot.
It was the day.
And
It was literally the day after he got shot.
like right within a couple days of that, he got shot for sure. Like, and they like he, of course, it didn't go through the way that they had planned, and he ended up shooting the dude himself, like because he's badass and he was always prepared and always carrying, like. And people are like, well, that's kind of weird. I'm just like, no, like this was before there were all these the same party. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a uniparty. I'll say it's been a uniparty since Lincoln, personally.
You think since Lincoln it's been a one party system?
Yeah. Yes.
You mean since after the war?
Yes.
Why? Why since then? What's the
Because
hypothesis?
because all right. Because everything since then has led to today. Because everything since then has been about adding amendments and do it like okay, prohibition wasn't about alcohol. It was about the fact that everybody was producing alcohol and using it to fuel their homes, vehicles, and everything else. And that's not something that Big Daddy government likes.
So okay? I mean, that
Ooh,
is
it's been a plan enacted for a really long time. Like it's the shadow government is definitely a real thing, and they've been pulling strings for a really long time, successfully, I should say.
I mean, r- hmm.
Lincoln's war wasn't about freeing slaves. He's even quoted multiple times saying that he doesn't
Yes,
want to free them. So
yes, he did it because it was convenient for the agenda, and he needed the soldiers, so he was
correct.
actively recruiting the people leaving the South.
And he was also opening borders for lots of immigration so that he could make people that were coming here soldiers because a lot of the American citizens didn't want to fight his war.
Hmm.
People, yeah, people don't, like
What do you think? What do you think was the reason we decided? Oh, we're not going to showcase the true history. We're going to showcase this artificial history.
he who controls the past controls the future.
Hmm.
And I think that they used stuff like the Civil War and other things throughout that. Okay, they did a really good job of Georgia, for example, destroying things from the state line to the sea, burning it to the ground. And what's the
What do you
best way
mean?
to
Wait, what do you mean they burned down?
that's how they won the war, Sherman's March. He walked through the state of Georgia murdering families and burning towns to the ground. It was scorched earth. And he went from the and within the state. They say Atlanta to the sea, but he started before Atlanta and all the way to Savannah, burning it to the ground. So I mean, what other purpose would you do something like that or tell the story something like that unless you were trying to erase history?
So, do you think part of the agenda was to destroy these statues all over the country, even though these statues represent certain people that already were kind of forgotten to history?
Sure. I mean, like, okay, a lot of people go after General Lee, like, and and stuff like that when you talk about a lot of the Southern soldiers and stuff. But if you look in their history, they most of them and a lot of them either didn't have slaves, or if they did in their family, they freed them to like not be a like it wasn't about slavery, man. Like I don't think something that affected 6% of the population, including a great number of my ancestors, like on both sides, Native American and Irish, like because there's there's proof that like all people that were captured were sold to the Americas into slavery. You know what I mean? Like especially the Irish, because if Bandit was here, he'd back me up. There's no such
I
thing as
mean,
there was no such thing as an Irish potato famine. It was just the English stealing everything.
exterminating. It was
Yes,
English basically committing genocide.
yes,
It was. I would say it was a complicated way of doing it, but it was a way that they could wipe their hands clean of the situation
Sure.
because they are not responsible for it. Like,
And so,
so the people didn't revolt against them for committing genocide against their brothers.
wait, so you're telling me that
The English
other
crown had a brain. Yeah.
no, well, no, but I'm saying so this is what I'm saying is that a lot of the same people, I think there's a lot of the same people in control of these times and in control of these current times, even, like the times we're talking about to the times that we're getting at. Like I know everybody runs immediately to like the Rothschilds and stuff like that, but I think we know those names. I don't think those are the real names. Like those aren't the
What did
people.
you do? You remember
Of course,
those?
the Frankist, if we want to get into that. Like
Well, this is the thing. No one's ever mentioned the Frankist, even though you can literally look it
David
up.
Icke talks about him. He talks about him all the time. The Sabbateans. And they think he's crazy.
So David Icke is the only guy?
Aside from us, yes.
Well, and the fellow we were talking to who
I've been talking to
actually.
him. Did you
Oh,
know he wrote a?
finally.
Did you know he wrote a book since we've been
Oh, send
gone?
it to me. Send me the link. I
He's wrote
mean,
it. He's wrote a book, and he didn't realize I got banished from TikTok.
yeah, he probably thought
And
it's like the algorithm's not showing you me. Oh, you're gone.
yep,
Yeah.
and so we finally reconnected, and I've been chatting with him. I shot him my phone number because I figured he's good enough person to talk to, like person to person, because he
I
was
mean,
just
we've literally talked to him for like 10 hours.
we have, and he's an amazing guy. Like, and
He's
he and
incredible.
he
I want
and
to
he
meet him. Is he
I
in
do too.
Georgia?
He's in North Carolina, but not far from me in
All right.
North Carolina.
So when I go over there, I might try to like, in the process of going to you, go to him too.
Right? Need to convince. I'm trying to convince him to come back and hang out with us over here on a Wednesday night and
What?
talk about it. So it's always a good conversation like that. Ever since he turned me on to it, and you start digging through history and you start seeing them, you start seeing weird things pop up in weird places that those guys exist in. You're just like, wait a minute, and that's what I think's gone on here. I think the Sabbatian Frankists got themselves here and worked their way within to our system as well, and have done the same thing all over the world.
But do you remember that weird rant that was repeated 1,000 times about the Italian families and those people being above? And what's this nonsense about a black pope and all this fucking diversion? Like, what is that about? Like, I don't really believe it because I've met a Medici. That woman was falling apart and had zero power. Because I've met a Medici. I was like, oh, okay, that old lady. I'm like, okay, and she looks crippled and falling apart. That's
It,
powerful.
it amazes
I don't
me.
believe the
Like,
Medici family is as powerful. I mean, I'm sure they're wealthy
sure.
by today's standards. So they
I
were
mean,
basically
I
gods
mean,
back then. They
I,
were the ones running the economy.
we've
But
we've all heard my insane theories where I'm like, either Chevy Chase or Jim Carrey got something to do with it. Like they seem too throned up there and in the background to not have something to do with it. And I don't mean
it,
like
it,
Epstein Island nonsense. I mean like string pullers,
but
rich string pullers that come from very, very rich families.
wouldn't you want to live life as as fun as you could if you had absolute power instead of being praised by the absolute power?
How better way than be one of the spell makers in front of everybody, painting the spells for them all to see, living a
But do you
complete life of
what do you
secrecy,
think?
living a complete
Chevy
life of
Chase.
secrecy outside of it.
Chevy Chase for a while was even more popular, honestly,
Because
than
he
Jerry.
sat at the top of the throne, did what he wanted to do, and now he's just in the background watching. I mean, when you look into Chevy Chase, he's an awfully interesting person, especially the family that he comes from. Like he comes from ridiculous money that goes back
Wait,
into
don't tell me the bank is
kings and
associated.
queens.
Don't tell me
Like
the bank is associated with him.
dun
No,
dun dun.
is legit? Is the bank associated with him?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know about the Chase Bank, but
that would
um,
be hilarious. I'm like, wait, this is actually because what is it? For example, Kimmy Schmidt, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, or something like the TV show that from Netflix.
Mhm.
The woman, the main actress, is the daughter of one of the richest families of Kansas or Oklahoma. I forgot what. So one of the richest families in the entire state. And everybody was like, "Wait, what? What is she doing in a TV?" Like everybody was like, "My brain just broke." That way, like she got a TV show, but at the
Well,
same time, it's like there's things named after her family.
he's they
In the state.
he's got descendants from that are like noted on the Mayflower, that he's got descendants that like they're what that were like Welsh, and what else was it, like Scott, like Irish and stuff. Like there's apparently all kinds of like tiebacks, and his father was like an admiral and shit like that. Like it's an interesting story when you go into it, because like it goes back into way before times, and it's interesting that they know so much about this guy, like his great great grandfather being. They might actually have something to do with the bank, actually. Holy
Because I
shit.
remember when I was in Washington D.C., I was like, Chevy Chase, what the
Wait a
heck?
minute. Wait a minute.
Just
The more I'm sitting here digging, the more I'm going, wait a minute. Like
no,
there
I'm
might
checking
actually
right
be
now.
something.
No, I gotta check because I'm really gotta check now. I've never looked into it because I was like, oh,
I mean, I've
that's
never dug deep into it, but like he's
yeah,
got
because I really didn't care to know, but I'm like now I was like, wait, now I want to know because, like you said, yeah, spell making, like the idea that
yeah.
you're controlling the zeitgeist of culture, especially with these movies, which there were a lot of them.
There were a lot for both of them if you really go through their thing, and like think about how influential they were at the times they were at their peak. Even Jim Carrey, like he's not at his peak anymore, but like everybody's dying to see him as Robotnik in Sonic 3. Like everybody's dying to see him work again, because like he did do such amazing work in his time. And Chevy Chase did too, and then he got old and grumpy and racist, and like
Wait, where did he get racist? Explain that part. I need to.
when he was working on the set of Community, he was extremely hostile towards Childish Gambino, and racist. Like would say words that, like, word to me. You know how I feel. Words are words, but like he would say things that he probably shouldn't say, like to people directly. Like, mm, not a smart thing to do. Like, again, I feel you're free to say whatever you want to say in this world, and suffer the consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, no words should be banned. Like, that's ridiculous. But if you want to say something that gets your teeth knocked out, go right ahead. That's on you. Like,
Well, he messed with Childish Gambino, which is he's really interesting.
he's a super
He's
cool
really.
guy.
Oh, you met him?
I've not like I've followed
Because
a lot of his stuff for Atlanta, and I've actually worked with some people that worked with him, but like they say
in
he's a
Atlanta,
super cool guy. Yeah.
the show is magical realism. I like that he went that weird route with the show. I haven't seen that past season
I
two,
can
but
I can show you
he
all the
went into a bizarro fun route.
I can show you all the stuff like in reality of where it is, because they really do film it down here, of course. And before my cousin kicked the bucket, he was totally working on the set works of that stuff or whatever. Like that's what he did for a living. Was he kept trying to get me to get a job doing it, but I wouldn't
Why?
join because I wouldn't join, because those guys don't make what they actually are worth, and I refuse to join their union and pay them to work for them.
You mean, well, what category? I mean, you are an extremely talented human that the industry would benefit from your creativity, especially just giving you money. Would it be you're similar to a Jamie Heineman, just without a budget.
My well, when it
Because those people have infinite budgets, and they've had infinite budgets most of their
that's true.
lives now because they
That's
were
true.
working in the commercial industry, and that's how they got into the MythBusters stuff.
Well,
But those guys actually hate each other. You know that, right?
I
Like
do
when
know
they say the
I do know they
intro,
hate
they
each
hate each
other.
other. They're like, not like they never had once dinner.
No.
That's crazy. When I heard, it's like, wow.
Yeah, they really didn't like one another. Then there's actually there's two other guys that were popular on radio down here in Atlanta for like 20 years. They were known
Don't
as they were known as the regular guys. They were from Western New York. And they were pretty funny. They were great, but it turns out that they absolutely hated each other too. Like they didn't show up until time for the mics to come on. They didn't talk to each other outside of the work and stuff like that. They just showed up, did the show, and went their separate ways every day.
I mean, I genuinely only met you through the internet, but I would actually like to meet you human because you sound even more interesting if the camera wasn't on, recording you, so that the government has a record of your thought crimes.
Shh, shh, shh. Thought crimes, yes. They're just thoughts. They're not real. They're not.
Of course, they're not real. You're not a boogaloo boy.
Oh no, no, good lord. I've been called so many different things. Like they always want to compare me to. They want to.
Why?
They
Why
want to
did
put
they put you next to that concept when you're not even close to the
because
batshit
I was
crazy
in
fucking people on Rumble? I mean, there's real batshit crazy people on Rumble.
because I was in their comment sections and stuff, trolling the shit out of them like I do everybody else. Like, look, because I'm off of Facebook again, I have nowhere else to troll except Twitter, and that's probably not a good place for me to be because I don't actually follow many people, so I just get the the algorithm feed a lot, and it gives me the opportunity to just troll random people like Mark
Bro,
Hamill,
the algorithm is so wacky
isn't
and
it? Isn't it?
ludicrous.
It's
It
all over the
it
place.
I don't know if he did that on purpose. I don't think he did because that is too accidentally broken. Like the comments section is usually comments related to it, and then what the fuck, and then back to the comments, and then what the fuck again, and then violence, and then back to the comments. You're like, what?
Twitter,
It's like doing Tusi, which is meth, ketamine, cocaine, uh, and and uh, and heroin or
all at
opiates all in
once.
once. Yeah, that's a comment section of a single X Twitter post.
Twitter,
It's like
Twitter,
all the drugs.
Twitter is off the chain. Like, and
Oh,
I
it's
don't.
more fun. It's more fun, but
It is.
it's more fun, and you can literally find out about anything and listen to insane people's views, which is okay. I want to witness it. Like this is the thing. I've spoken to like it's crazy people in real life. There was an incident where we were at a community garden which was built by the community itself. I call it kind of an anarchy space because it really was anarchy, like the true essence of anarchy. And there's these left wing people came in and they were asking for equity, and they were asking for equity and inclusion, and the people that started it were very dark skinned. So when they were saying that part, we were all like, okay, so those people don't exist. The person that literally started it doesn't exist. A Guyanese man doesn't exist. Okay, so
Oh,
that person doesn't
oh,
exist. So he was,
hang.
because there was a few white people. And first of all, I'm Latino, but like there was a few white people in there, and
I'm
they were basically operating most of the things.
I'm sorry to
And
interrupt you,
oh,
real quick, but apparently, ladies and gentlemen, my one of my absolute bestest friends here on the show this evening has finally joined us.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Neptune, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
What's up, guys?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you joined us. I appreciate it.
I was able to cut out at a reasonable hour, so I figured I'd go ahead and jump in tonight and have fun with the shenanigans.
well,
Shenanigans, it always is.
I was speaking to a bunch of left wing extremists that were speaking about inclusion when the founders of the group were very dark skinned individuals. As they were saying, the lighter your skin tone, the more oppressive you were. So for some
Oh,
reason, they were
so we're going
dictating.
with the Family Guy meme now. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, basically, they were dictating that
Yeah.
I had white privilege, and I'm like,
Mhm.
no, my the actual people there that were white,
Right.
they were like, fuck off with this nonsense.
Good
Like,
lord. Well,
yeah,
you actually weren't. I don't think you were in the group yet like part of the show, but the second or third episode of the show, I sat here and listened to this fella call me a what did he call me?
Colonizer.
A colonizer for
Oh,
like
Was that a
colonizer.
colonizer?
for like 2 hours straight. This dude just continuously called
I
me a
think
colonizer.
didn't I count it? I think it was 15 times, or am I crazy?
And like I think it's
No,
something
no,
like
no.
that.
It's not many.
But
I'm
like,
thinking of Sabril.com, which
oh,
is
that
20
too.
something times.
But
Something
like,
done.
Wait. Didn't at the end of the episode we say the number without context? I said the
we
number
did.
without context, right? I said the number and I kept going. I was like,
Well, and then like later down the road, I brought him back on for an episode, and I had a handful of other people on here like Kel and uh just a few. Dude, the first time
didn't
he went,
call you a
the
colonizer then.
first time he went to call me colonizer, the entire other crew like jumped on him, and they're like, "Bro, wrong dude, like wrong, wrong dude. He's not a colonizer. Like chill out, like." You just, and it was funny that dude quit talking to me, and I don't, of course that was many Facebook profiles ago, so I can't really even blame it on that because I lose things and I lose people. Like that's why I keep going in places that it'll let me keep going, and hopefully they find me again. Because
As I recall, the person who joined and had the audacity to call you a colonizer, they had to have huffed a lot of paint thinner that night.
I mean, it
Just saying.
the dude even called his wife a colonizer, like during the conversation. He's like, I even married a colonizer, and it's just like, wait, what?
Self-hate is such a disgusting trait of so many people that they just exude their personal hate onto others because they cannot handle their own issues, their own realities.
Where's that name? The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Yes, absolutely. But all this talk about like the wild west of Twitter, and I've even considered TikTok the wild west of it too, because there's a lot of truth out there. I mean, we might as well go ahead and get into what the rest of the world's already talking about, which is our United States government saber rattling for election season and trying to once again slide a Patriot Act-esque bill through the fences real quick that goes after all of our electronic devices and not really apps.
Oh, wait, are we talking about how the U.S. wants to buy ownership of TikTok in the U.S. just so they can micromanage it?
Pretty much. That's basically what it boils down to. Is it seems to be a app that they don't have the backdoor access to that they want. So now it's a problem. And so that makes me wonder, what about things like Twitter and Truth? I mean, I don't use Truth, but that exists, and even Rumble for that rather. The people that don't want to cooperate.
So there is some context. Europe. Okay, so Europe is passing interesting laws related to interoperability, which I found that interesting. So you remember those Electrillion, or in that app, that application that allowed you to use MSN Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, ICQ all in one. Was it Trillion?
I don't know if it was called Trillion, but I know what you're talking about.
It's been a while ago, but man,
Trillion, not like
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Trillion Messenger. I think I'm finding it. Let me see.
Phrasing.
Yeah, bro, it was Trillion, and it still exists to a degree.
Okay, all right.
What is this? I mean, it's the same company. Obviously, it's different now. But yeah, over 20 years, Trillion has been helping people stay connected. Today's Trillion brings together secure, HIPAA compliant. So basically, Trillion's turned into a healthcare company. All right, that's an Cerulean Studios. Yep, Trillion.
Right.
Point is, they are asking for interoperability for any platform that has over 1 million users, and they are inputting laws slowly and surely to control systems further and further. And that's why they were talking about how this law is about they are going to be able to censor websites that they feel go against the American foreign policy.
Oh, is that? Oh, they're gonna try to go after me, huh?
We are all antithetical to U.S. domestic and foreign policy. What are you talking about?
I mean, isn't a large portion of the U.S. population also?
I mean, if you go by their list of how it's set out, like yeah,
So
most of America is technically a domestic terrorist of some kind. Like,
the thought I was going to share wherein as far as Twitter or whatever you want to call it these days goes, I guess it's like not for nothing, but has everyone just selectively forgotten that um, despite what people think of Elon Musk individually, that he still got massive funding from the U.S. government to send to
oh yeah,
Massive,
freaking
all of
cars.
it. What do you think? Talking about
Yeah.
all of it, like all of the profit came from that.
So yeah, all of his current net worth is based on grant money that he got from the U.S. So him owning Twitter now, how does anyone not think that he's beholden to the U.S.?
right.
Well, he is interesting trickster, right? So he is kind of the, he has said before, he who controls the memes controls the means of culture, or the means of production. I think that was the actual quote. Um, but what I go with that is he wants to read the zeitgeist in order to build AGI. My friend also that was building these types of systems that determine people's thinking is also in the vein that Twitter is good enough to be able to take, like, you know how polls, like, this many people think, so that's what Twitter does every single day. And to a degree, Facebook can do the exact same thing. They can predict the future to a degree. They can do all these things. They just have to actually read their data in a way that makes sense.
Anyone thought that Musk's idea for a neural network interface is just another way to promote targeted advertising? Because I've thought about that. I've thought about that a lot.
You mean because you saw that episode of Futurama where they were advertising the underwear to Fry?
I feel like Groening actually called that one
Oh
way ahead of time. But yes,
god.
I the thought has occurred to me. So you know,
Well, first of all, he's
experimenting
not.
on monkeys to assess hive mind intellect is a interesting, uh, you know, experiment in the world of social Darwinism.
He's not even
But
the first one.
no, I'm sure he's not.
The currently the most advanced company doing this stuff is not his. There's another company that's actually more advanced than
There's
Neuralink.
a Norlink.
Neuralink. There's more advanced companies than Neuralink. I mean,
Gotcha.
Neuralink is one, but there's other companies that are more
It's
advanced
just
that are, the people consider
I
more
guess
advanced
it's
than
probably
Neuralink
been
currently.
less public. It must have been less publicized, but I
It
also
yes,
I don't follow a lot of the stuff, so a lot of
it
it's
is
kind of
less
unimportant.
publicized. I remember another company made a breakthrough. They did implants before Neuralink did. They got
Hmm.
approval before Neuralink. That's what I mean. It's like there's a lot of information in that field alone. And look, I'm all for it because it it is, yes, I know the sales pitch is it's for the people with disabilities, and eventually it's not. But give people this option. What's wrong with giving them the option?
I
Give them
I
the
I like
option.
It
I like
feels like it feels like it could be an extremely vile extension of uh, a common telecommunications standard in some ways, I suppose, and that's the way that I'm viewing it. Because, like, you have interfaces that interconnect, you know, circuitry in the world of the World Wide Web and the internet, but you extend that to humanity, and it's I don't know. It's a Richard Feynman quote that I love to cite often. The key that opens the the door to heaven also opens the gates of hell. So I don't know. It's just I'm kind of spitballing with that. But it's kind of my thoughts.
fair. I mean, that I guess that's a good assessment of the situation. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for giving people the access to these kinds of things. I just wish that the world wasn't run by a bunch of psychopaths that are absolutely going to use it not only for personal gain, but for
Certainly.
whatever kind of agenda they continue to push. Now, again, I'm not at all wanting to be like a black cloud point, because I'm not worried Skynet's going to actually take over. That's a joke. Like, that's not.
You
I'm
sure,
not.
bro?
I'm not concerned about that, man. I can't even get my 3D printer to work for real. I can't even get my
No,
3D
no.
printer to work.
So I was gonna share
So
with you guys. I love that you guys said that, and I'm like, oh, but wait, there's more. How they made a breakthrough, um, and it'll be implemented soon. Basically, LLMs are based on transformers, and now it'll be based on Mamba. And to simplify that a little bit, transformers take the first word and the last word and the word order and the constructive order of words, and then creates an extrapolation of thought from that. That's why it was so bad at numbers and math.
Yeah.
The new system can actually have full idea of what's happening in the totality of the conversation, and it could keep track of it all.
Oh yeah.
So that's the powerful thing, is that it can keep track of it. So the new system doesn't need excessive amounts of power for an excessive amount of data, because you
I
need
mean, but
exponential
they've already
compute power.
they've already got extensive amounts of data and power.
So to give you an idea, Facebook is going to spend 10 billion just in GPUs to build their next model.
I don't think
10 billion.
I don't think Facebook's going to be around much longer.
Well, Facebook's
It's
going to
dying.
exist.
It's dying so quick.
Well, Facebook's going to be around just because of the sheer insane scale of their system currently. It's not going to be as relevant in the future. I agree
And
with you. It's going to be less relevant with
yeah.
time as it's slowly becoming less relevant.
it's
That's why they're trying everything.
it's already irrelevant because they won't allow their greatest meme stars ever back on the platform.
I always wonder what
Facebook
other
will
than
have to. Oh, all right, Facebook will have to diversify if they intend to.
Oh, I mean, the moment they get rid of Mark Zuckerberg, they're just going to disappear into oblivion, because they only think keeping them alive, even though Mark Zuckerberg is already, bleh, who's going to take over is probably going to be 10 times worse. So look at Boeing. What the fuck?
Oh, the North.
Did you wait? Did you
the
see
North?
they killed
Yeah,
the whistleblower?
the North Charleston resident. Yeah, that's made big news down where I'm at. Yeah,
Yo,
everybody down here is like
murdering the
everyone
witness.
is calling bullshit on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
dude. That dude was killed. Like,
there's no question he was murdered
he,
by Boeing.
what I understand, he had left over in internal complaints like 7 years ago, and he had, Boeing has categorically denied all of his allegations up and down the board, I guess, but I wonder what dirt he had on them that he finally threatened to come forward with, that they decided to give him the Gary Webb treatment. There's a joke. There's a joke in there somewhere, but may Gary Webb, rest in peace.
I'm sorry, buddy. That was
totally out of. Yeah, I know. I was totally out of line for that, but
no, but you're not wrong though. Like there was definitely foul
everybody's
play
calling
there,
bullshit on
dude.
this.
Like
Yeah,
you
100%.
you can't tell me there wasn't foul play there. Like that's just awfully suspicious. And now they're trying to say they found a suicide note with him too. Like, okay,
Right.
sure they did.
I've got some beachfront property in Kansas to sell you.
Ooh, really? I'm totally interested.
Wait, your audio died, or you were joking? I can't tell.
Talking to me? I'm talking to Jim.
Jim, I saw his sound effects work.
Is my audio dead?
No, it's all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apologies, my headset is not with me, and this is laptop microphone, and it's not so good.
No worries, no worries. I mean, it's a big thing is, of course, is it's never It doesn't seem to ever be ending, and each day it seems to be accelerating even more so. Like, you can't tell me this isn't the modern day Rome crumbling with all the nonsense that's accelerating at such a fast pace. You've got a dude that probably literally shits his diapers running the country, fighting with another dude that definitely shits his diapers that used to run the country. And then you've got like a bunch of old dudes that have been in Congress longer than I've been alive, still trying to call shots for my future. Like, how does
Well, they know
how does
better
that
than
make
you.
sense?
They know better than you. You know what's the median age of Congress?
What's that?
I
47.
think it's like no 60 something.
Oh,
Why?
seriously?
I
Wow.
think, and then in the past it was like 30 something. No, 40, 43.
I figured it was still in the 40s. Wow, I didn't realize it crept up like that. That's depressing as hell.
Why do you think you're literally seeing members of Congress just quitting? Because they're just like, well, everything's going to shit. I'm not gonna be part of it. I'm like, okay.
Assuming they don't quit, their brains are telling them to go on autopilot um, the until death comes knocking at the doorstep, and you know.
And that's why that's why we were talking earlier. Why I was saying, I think that there's other string pullers out there that are throwing super hard curveballs to keep you off the scent of who they really are, yet keeping themselves in the center of the spotlight in some form of way, like Jim Carrey.
Okay, I still have not heard this full theory you have about Jim Carrey. I happen to actually like Jim Carrey as a
I
as a
love.
human being.
I
As a
think
human
he's.
being, I actually respect the man. So
I,
I'm
I think.
curious about this.
I think he's a great actor, but I don't think that Jim Carrey is a real entity. I don't think that's his name. I don't think that's anything to do with him. And I think that he's secretly one of the top string pullers behind the scenes, literally calling the shots. And I know that's insane. But the first time I ever talked about this theory on TikTok, his ex-wife started following me.
All right, I
Which
gotta hear it.
way? Oh, you mean you're talking about the one that started the whole vaccines? I mean, shots cause autism.
I mean, yes, that wife. That her name fleets me at the moment, but he was married to her throughout the '90s and stuff. She did Playboy and stuff like that, of course, and she does movies. She currently does like a hosting of a show or something. But like,
All right, I gotta hear the theory though. So
I mean, that's pretty much
I-
that's really pretty much it. Is that I think that Jim Carrey lives his life in the spotlight as Jim Carrey, but he's not really Jim Carrey. I don't really know who he is. I can't tell you who he really is, but I totally think he's one of the most powerful people in control behind the scenes.
Jenny McCarthy, that's who you were talking about. I knew I
Yes,
knew that name.
Jenny
So,
McCarthy. Yep, Jenny
yeah,
McCarthy.
sorry, I had
yeah.
to.
She started following me as soon as I started talking about this crazy stuff. So that makes me wonder, like, does she want to reach out and tell me I'm onto something?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's like, oh, ooh, accidentally you got a notification that it's all real. That's what you got to get back. Look, don't you have a vast?
Because what if they're Frankists? What if they're Sabbatians? What if their roots are in this stuff that we've been talking about? What if Chevy Chase and Jim Carrey's ancestry comes from Sabbatians that were coming over here to live the life of illusion?
Where does that
They're
leave Dan Aykroyd though?
they're wizards. They're trying to paint this life of illusion, and they're in control of the situation. I know it's far fetched, but couldn't the most far fetched theory be closer to reality? Look at some of the shit that's come true over the past 20 years.
And Stranger Than Fiction, I absolutely believe for all the dumb shit that's happened in the last
I mean,
4 years.
reality is
it's
stranger than fiction.
Guys, you guys do understand that a week from today, 4 years ago, is when they decided to pull all the stops with Winnie the Flu. That's a week ago. Yeah, Winnie the Flu, the scamdemic, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was a week from now, 4 years ago. So I mean,
Oh my
it all.
God. It's been 4 years since I realized. Oh, now they're talking about it. I've known about it since December. Okay.
It's, it's
Sure,
like
buddy. I had mask already by the time they reported it.
Poor
I had
Luis.
20 mask.
Oh my god.
you know
Wait,
what?
Were you
I'm
were you about to
walking.
be on the?
wait.
My silly
March
ass is half tempted.
2020. Remember, we didn't know anything about anything. All we saw
So,
was the data coming out of China. That
Yeah.
I
which I
knew
didn't believe.
I
Yep.
knew the masks were going to be in demand.
I
That
when
was right.
when it first started popping up on the news and they first started hovering about it and humming about it a little bit, the people at my work got all nervous. And then the day that it went all
No,
shit
no,
like
no.
that,
Well, I'm talking about 3 months before,
I know.
not
Oh well,
March.
no, and I'm not saying March either. But then when they finally went through the whole him and haw and announcement, and 4 years ago, that's when I was like, you guys are full of shit. This is stupid. You can't do this. You can't make me do this. This goes against Nuremberg. And I closed down the entirety of Nissan that I worked for 5 days while they talked to lawyers to figure out what
Wait.
they could do with me.
I remember this
Yep.
because I had come up to hang out with you, uh, not long after that whole debacle
And I was
happened.
already getting ready to do peanuts and stuff because that's just what I immediately jumped
Yeah.
to make cash
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, I'm not just going to sit around and not do anything. So let's go boil some peanuts and sit on the side of the road and bring in cash that way while I figure this out because like they gave me my 5 day suspension. And then when I came or well, they closed the whole place down for 5 days. Their lawyers finally come up with a reason that they could just get rid of me. And then they got rid of me and I caused a him and haw with it for a little bit, but then I was just like, whatever, leave me alone. And now I could actually probably totally go back and burn that old bitch, but it'd be a waste of time. So
You mean burn in a
Look,
verbal
I just
sense?
yes,
all I
not
want.
burn like a book. We're
I,
not burning
I
books here.
the main takeaway that I have from what happened 4 years ago and what I suspect is, likely to transpire again as we enter enter the election cycle, as it were.
Selection cycle.
Select,
Selection.
yeah, selection cycle. Yeah, that's definitely a better word. Is I can foresee us replaying the last four
Bro,
years
these cards look like
again.
the size of a plate. How small are your legs?
Do what?
Look at the cards. I'm like, you are a leprechaun.
What? Oh, Pirates Against Humanity.
Look at the cards compared to his legs. That makes no sense, bro. What are those gigantic cards?
No, they're this size.
Oh my god.
What is that? Your
Yeah,
leg?
this is going to be
Yes.
totally unhinged.
What? But look at the.
Yeah, it's going to be totally unhinged tonight. But keep going, guys. I have to step away for just a second.
No
I will
worries.
be right back.
What the
worries.
heck? At least the
Oh.
illusion that I see from it.
It's just the angle, I guess, that I've got it set at and the way I'm sitting. I mean, I try to tell everybody that's why you got in full Leprechaun because, of course, we don't do a show on Sunday for that, and this is the closest show to Leprechaun Day. That's why everybody's getting their joy of. This isn't even my full costume. I totally have more to it. I showed up last year to work on the Friday before as a Leprechaun, and I'm gonna show up again as a Leprechaun this go around. I even have little pots of gold candy for the boss and shit at the girls at the office, just because it's fun. I've got like a tailcoat that almost touches the ground because I'm so short, and I've got some plaid suspenders, and I plan on wearing my rainbow socks that day. And at least into the office, like I'll wear my boots for work all day, but at least into the office, I'm gonna wear my green suede loafers that I have to just kick it all off and go walking in there. I could technically wear this all weekend if I wanted to, because I can get
Can you
away with
please
it.
make a nice, fun video, please?
I'll come up with something. I was thinking about making a video like talking about the Irish potato famine and how it's not real. Like it'd probably do really well.
It's not that it's not real.
It's
It's
just that
that
aspects of
the
it
way it was told was
is
different.
not real. Yeah.
Why don't you go into it more deep, and then you can
I mean,
take from here.
to get really to the bottom of it is that it's Irish people were really only allowed to eat potatoes because everything else was shipped to the king and whatnot and the folks in England, whether it be meat, fish, vegetables, whatever. And so then they come through and basically poison the ground with his like old timey Roundup and killed everybody's potatoes in the process of also capturing the men and selling them to America and into slavery. And like they were literally trying to genocide Ireland and get rid of it and make it not a thing anymore but they were doing it smart and scientifically and using the knowledge that they had that they thought was above the knowledge that the Irish had because they thought the Irish, the Italian, they thought a lot of other cultures like that, not just white and black, but like the English generally thought many of the other cultures were like subcultures to them. Like they were the important culture, and the rest of them were just Neanderthals running around eating bugs and scratching our butts or something. Like that's why. I mean, so maybe America had early America had a decent idea with the War Red Plan, trying to get rid of the British Empire. Maybe if we would have got rid of the bankers, which is the British Empire, things could be a little bit easier
I
to fight.
mean,
I mean,
it's all changed now to a
the Roman
high degree.
the Roman Empire became the Vatican, and the British Empire became the central bank.
If it's there's the city of London, which is separate to London,
Yeah,
and the city of London, uh, the mayor is elected by corporations. There's 150 or 140 something corporations, and they're the only ones that get a vote. And then the employees of the corporations execute the vote of the corporation. So the democracy comes through the extension of the corporation. It's like the equivalent of the electoral college. It's kind
democracy
of
is
electoral college. It's kind of
d-
like the electoral college, actually.
democracy is still mob rule.
Democracy doesn't exist.
Exactly.
We live in a republic. And I tell people constantly, like, by the way, you got to play Helldivers, because I constantly make jokes about the
Apparent-
Empire, and most people
yeah.
are like, yeah, because it keeps drilling it into your head, this
Did
whole
you
spreading democracy,
did you
spreading
did you
democracy.
did you see the video that Bandit sent us in the group chat from earlier today? That was the United States Navy sending themselves off with the Imperial March.
No.
Hang on, I'm scrolling through the group chat right now because like that's how he started my day.
Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun, dun, dun,
it's
dun.
them going to bring. All right, I am bringing it up on my screen. I'm gonna try to bring it up on the thing here in just a moment. All right, it's a 17-second video. It's over here on Twitter and share screen window. That one, share and bring up. Okay, I'm gonna enlarge it and hit play.
I can't hear the sound, at least. Maybe
Oh,
okay.
darn it.
I'm back. Sorry about that. What did I miss? Why are
Well,
we looking over the?
okay, because the United States Navy vessels that will build the Gaza temporary port that set sail today, they set sail to the tune of the Imperial March from Star Wars. And
Check the audio settings, and
I am,
we can
I
actually
am.
hear it.
I don't know what's up with the audio tonight. You guys can hear my backgrounds and all kinds of stuff. Like it says that it's on, so I don't know. I swear I don't know. It just does what it wants sometimes.
Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, also share
boom.
audio. But it was sharing but it totally is 100% the Imperial March playing with that. And like, when do you think that the soldiers are going to look at each other and go, "Oh shit, we're the baddies"?
They know it.
And they're still following through with orders. Yeah, and you have everybody here gobbling their cock, talking about they're protecting our freedoms.
Yeah, no, these are the same people giving fucking orders that said if you don't get the shot, we're going to kick you out, and now we're begging for you to come back.
In droves because they're trying to go to war.
Fucking shit asses.
I mean, Neptune, don't you want to go back?
Absolutely not. It's not like I already don't get. It's not like I don't already get emails on the regular asking for, hey, we need people that can do this job or come back as a civilian instructor. Uh, yeah, no, it's desperate.
Why? Wait. If you could make great money, why would you not educate the future of America? Now I hear myself, but
We do it right here every Wednesday night.
If the larger question is why am I not willing to sell my soul,
how?
like I haven't already done it once,
Oh yeah, I remember my friend. He got that
I
message when
can't.
he signed.
I could
I
not.
hear myself, by the way.
In good conscience, I don't think I could ever do that again. Not that I would argue with the money, but you can't put price on peace of mind.
Okay,
Fair.
theoretically, what's the price?
The price for my peace of mind,
Yeah, how much would they have to pay you in order to go back?
whatever the Rothschild guy who just died is worth.
So much money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
And just look, man. They say that it doesn't take money can't buy happiness. I think that's true, at least to a point. But
To
you
a
know what?
point,
You know
money
what? If
gives
I
you the
if I
opportunity to gain happiness.
if I had $30,000 in my bank account right now, I could solve all my debts and I would be just fine. So
Here's something funny. I learned that my a couple years back, about 5-6 years ago, maybe. I did one of those debt consolidation things to just get rid of some stuff, the little bit of things that I had, because it was very little. It was under
sure.
$3,000. That's how little it was. But
Okay.
because I've never been a credit card guy, and so I was looking into some stuff today, and I learned that I'm once again a person with a 0 credit score, and I learned that makes me suspicious.
Why? Why? Okay, we're gonna fix that because you can't just be on 0 credit score. You can literally do the simplest things and be in the system and have a great credit score because it's detrimental to you. It costs you more money in life. People that have 0, like this is the thing: get one credit card or skip
Why?
your card,
Why?
and
Why? Why? Why
so
create a
you
world of debt for myself?
because you won't.
But that's all those are. Like
No,
I've never seen anybody have one and not be in debt of some kind.
I
I've
know
never
many.
seen anybody.
There is a lot of people that it's related to doing something like secure credit card, which basically is your own money that you're borrowing against, and through that measure you keep it on a 33% 30% level, and voila, your credit score is through the sky, and
I
you benefit from it in 100 other ways,
but
including
I
car insurance.
but I'm against a system that is younger than me.
Yes, I agree. You're right.
So
It doesn't mean you shouldn't
why take
utilize it to
why
benefit for yourself
why take
because it
part in a
doesn't
system that
harm
I
because
want
it's
dismantled?
harming you. Well,
How?
you're not. You don't have to utilize it how they want you to utilize it. Exerting control over it is a force of is power. If you can exert the control over it, that is in itself the
Okay, but
power.
I'm also a guy that lives paycheck to paycheck, so there's no way I can keep it at whatever they want me to keep it.
Oh, but you don't need to.
There's a there
There's ways, and there's no
in the ways that I've been taught, the ways that I've been told, or the ways that I've been showed before, put me in debt, give me a bill that I don't want to pay for, that because I live a life without having to have all these extra bills. My insurance is
I
fine.
think it's
I own my car. I don't make payments to something on somebody, so my insurance isn't ridiculous like everybody else's car insurance.
you know, you've got different levels of societal disparities.
You haven't seen
here.
my car insurance.
Well, I mean, honestly,
You live in New York City.
The way the car insurance industry works, the way
It's a scam.
100%.
The way underwriting works is a scam, 1,000%. But
That's why
The insurance brokers told me it's a scam. Like the actual broker that did this, I'm like, yeah, it's a scam.
I make the most money that I've ever made in my entire life, and I don't have assets. I don't own a fucking thing, and I'm still in debt. So
buy Bitcoin.
When people say money can't buy happiness, you know what? I'm inclined to agree because I'm making $90,000 a year and I still ain't got shit. So you know what? Fuck them.
Yep.
You are literally the representation.
I am done.
This is the interesting thing. 90,000 is give or take minimum wage, adjusted for inflation.
Yeah. So fuck this
That's
system.
minimum
Fuck all
wage.
I pour gasoline on the whole goddamn thing and watch it burn, and I'll fucking record the whole son of a bitch while it's happening.
That's right. Like
from a distance.
Or take me back to 4 years ago when some mad lad actually dragged a fucking guillotine into Richmond, Virginia.
Right.
In Puerto Rico, they were also dragging guillotines in, and they started putting watermelons in and slashing them. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. But they stopped doing it. I'm like, oh.
But we love to see it.
So, guillotines are my favorite thing when they take them out.
So, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, this whole industry is flawed. Everything about the United States system of capital management is a fallacy.
We exist in a construct. Yeah. What we are experiencing is a controlled demolition of the entire global system. How far will they go until it collapses? So this is my crazy prediction.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
With the rise of AGI, which is more akin to advanced management. Okay, so consider AGI not take over the world. No, AGI is advanced management. It is a complex hierarchical management system that is capable of doing very high-end management. So basically, the best conspiracy theories would be orchestrated by us via AGI, because it would be capable of executing on multiple levels and multiple agencies and multiple governments and multiple corporations in alignment, because it can keep track of all the finite details when you replace the humans.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of, you can construct new narratives in a perfected manner without the limitations of human error, and you can then build out new economies from this. Now, is that what they're betting on? It looks like it, because there's nothing else that makes more sense, that they're just betting that.
Yeah.
They're not betting the house. They're betting the entire economy, that they're going to automate themselves into stability, because they're also importing people, but they're because
that's how I feel. They think like,
well, yes and no. Remember, there's the concept, there's the true deep state, and the deep state is partially who's doing this. To those morons that don't believe the deep state exists, evidently you don't know history. You should study.
Yeah, they're just they're hucking paint thinner.
Actually, those people that are inhaling the paint thinner believe in this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
I mean, have you heard a crazy homeless person? Sometimes they make sense, and then but you broke it. But Hillary Clinton did steal billions of dollars from the Haitians.
That's 100% correct.
Billions, not millions. Somebody wrote 30 million. You sent me something. They wrote 30 million. I'm like, no, 30 billion, bitch.
And that's why, that's why their new leader's barbecue, and he's eating everybody.
So yeah. I don't know what's best for Haiti. I don't. I don't know enough. But I will say that at this point, um, just let it flow and change things up. Oh my God! Somebody wrote, "She's a nice lady."
I was hoping.
She likes ladies too. So there's that.
Who's a nice lady?
Somebody wrote on Twitter. I wasn't born until you just picture Hillary Clinton. She's
Oh,
a nice lady.
I see it.
Undocumented carnivores are allowing. Wait? What do you mean when allowing? I'm
A
confused now. What the
flowing,
heck?
a flowing.
Hey Vince, how you doing this evening? And everybody, if you ain't checked out what Vince has got going on, since he's kind of branched off on his own too, man, y'all make sure y'all go over there and follow Vince Taglavia on Twitter, man. He's an awesome dude, and he's doing awesome stuff. He's bringing you news with a twist too. He's always got some interesting things. He's been doing some stuff on some mushroom or like some mold spore, slime spore things the past couple days. I've been checking into, and it's actually pretty neat. So totally recommend you guys keeping up with Vince too. He's always got good things, man. Like if you ain't already.
And see us on Twitch where we are next to other people playing Metal Gear Solid 5 still.
I mean, that's because we're totally in the Metal Gear world. Because if you think about it, some of the stuff we talk about could totally be the outskirts
Indicate,
of what's happening in the game. Our
right?
future became Metal Gear Solid. How about that?
That's why Hideo Kojima to me is such a valuable human being because he, first of all, he's an incredible director. I mean, I would say the only game that's kind of verbose is, what was it? Three is kind of excessive. Like there's a little too much blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And what was and then there's parts of 4 that are also like extra. But in general, they're incredibly well constructed. Metal Gear 5 actually starts off terribly and then evolves into something incredible. And the fact that he output to humans the concept of child soldiers in 2001, he was trying to tell people, by the way, in Africa there's a bunch of child soldiers. And then for some reason this kid called Mamba was a white boy that for some reason became a leader in a hyper violent human being and then converted into a human weapon for the military industrial complex, which is now called, it's not called military industrial complex. What's the new term? Did you hear about this? They
Oh, we have a
changed the
new
term.
term.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
what
didn't hear about
is
this.
that not politically correct anymore?
No, they
That's
call
what it
themselves
sounds
something
like.
different.
That's of course they do. They always got to come up with new names, new slang. I can't keep up with it, man. I'm still using dude. I'll probably use dude till I
It's
die.
called
I'm still going to use Winnie the Pooh until the day I die, and I should go ahead and get that patent before someone tries to steal it from me.
That's right.
I searched military industrial complex. I just get that, and then Boeing. Boeing.
I mean, as we were saying earlier, that's just a mess in itself. I seen there was also some stuff in there about like failing plane parts and stuff like the aviation industry is falling apart quicker than they can realize. And if that's not a sign
It's
of a crumbling civilization, then like I don't know what is. Like
Industrial
everything.
base, defense
industrial
industrial
base.
base, U.S. outpacing U.S. defense industrial base. Is it industrial base? I was trying to find. There's like a whole new term that they're trying to use. China's defense industrial base is operating. See, that's what I mean. It's like I think it's
Defense industrial base? No, bro, it's the
or
military industrial complex. It always will
industrial
be.
base might be like they're trying to remarket it. Is what I've been seeing, but I'll look it up later.
Good
But there's a
lord.
whole new term for the military industrial complex.
Are you surprised?
I mean,
No one
the
should be.
Pentagon in 1940s, the Pentagon had 95,000 PR employees.
Fruit of the Loom is still trying to gaslight us and tell us that they never had a cornucopia when people have proven it.
So that's weird, right? So there was one random theory that they intentionally removed it, but
because they're trying
What?
to redefine history while it's going on. They wanted to see if it was possible. The CIA did a study on this.
I can't find proof of it still, but I'm still convinced that Chick-fil-A did the same thing, and Kathy's sons
Or
did the same exact
or
thing.
or
with that
reality.
Mandela effect thing.
Or the future and the past, okay,
Are
Are
colliding.
colliding.
are fluid.
Because they're, well, I mean, that's true. I already know that.
No, but then go deeper.
Time is a construct. Like,
No, but really go deeper. If the future and the past are fluid, and we think we only affect the future, the error is the idea that we only affect the future. What
You're
if we
talking about
somehow
the
can
fu-
affect the past?
You're talking about the concept of deja vu.
No, I'm speaking about the idea that we can affect the past. Into a degree, that's how it's getting distorted, and then suddenly it shifts, and
well, it's because of
But when
CERN,
we
and
experience
they're
that,
doing the same thing that
is deja,
Wilson Fisk
that is
did.
deja vu.
They're
That's
doing
the
the
way
same
we
thing.
perceive it in the real world. Anyway,
They're doing the same thing Wilson Fisk did in the first Spider-Man movie with Miles Morales, and now all of our different realities are crashing, and there's like 27
Well-
Jimbobs hidden out there somewhere that we've all got to collect.
when okay, I didn't look into when was the comic book that relates that story, or was Into the Spider-Verse an original Miles Morales story, or was it in the comic books? I don't know. I didn't follow
I'll have
enough
to-
Spider-Man. I never followed a Spider-Man.
It's not like early Spider-Man, and I don't know too much about Miles other than he's kind of a cool character. Like, I dig playing him on the video game, like, but he's, I don't know.
Oh no, Miles
we
is
all-
great, but the
we all
question
know
is,
we all know I'm in DC lore more than I'm in Marvel. So
but my question with that is, so the Large Hadron Collider, right?
Yeah.
So that's one version. Like I was talking to somebody that was saying, in Colorado, they plan to build a much bigger one,
Mhm.
and then they still spend a lot of money, and then they never talked about it.
Mhm.
What do they do over there?
There was plans to build one in Tennessee that they spent a lot of money, and they never did anything about it.
So the Large Hadron Collider cost $10 billion or something like
Yeah.
that. We spent $10 billion, and supposedly there's nothing.
Supposedly,
What
talking
if
about
we have
the Atom Smasher out there in Switzerland or whatever the hell?
yeah.
Switzerland, France? Yeah, it's between the borders of Switzerland and France.
Yeah.
It's the thing that the Weasel got into, and then it caused it to short circuit, and then not long after that, Harambe was shot.
Bro,
Things have just been going
no,
downhill
no.
since
It's
then.
weird. No, it's weird. It's weirder. A human being put their head in the beam.
Mhm.
All right. Hey,
You hear about this? Yeah,
I
a
did.
human being.
I
He survived.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I've been following this man forever, and I have to divert the conversation long enough
Divert it.
just to say something positive tonight. So, Paul Alexander, the guy who lived in the iron lung his entire life,
Yeah,
the guy who still managed to get his bar license
yeah.
and was a practicing attorney. Sadly, he passed away. But
He did.
there's a positive note to say about that is that man is living proof that there are no limits that humanity will not overcome.
That's very true. That's very
So,
true.
Yeah,
I-
just something because I followed that man
no,
forever.
No, thank you for putting that out there tonight. That is a
I
good
just
thing.
saw
I did
that-
see that
I
earlier
just-
tonight.
I saw that news story just now, so I was like, wow.
Some more just off the wall good news, since we're just going on to off the wall good news. My copy of Orange Flavor finally showed up. I am excited that it's finally here. I thought it was lost in the mail. I do encourage you guys to go check out our friend Micah. He did a great job with this comic book, especially if you're into conspiracy lore and stuff. Like, I'm not getting anything from this plug. I just really like this comic book, and I encourage you guys to make him follow through on his promise of a special offer. If you'll buy 10 copies, he's got to make a Zelensky pillow, and I totally would like for him to have to do that, because this comic book is really awesome, and I really want everybody to check it out. If it's something you want a subtle way to wake your friends up, like, this thing's totally full of laughs and full of things that make you question reality.
And
Just
the
like
paper quality is
and the paper
superb.
quality, dude, this thing is amazing. I love this little comic book. I'm
He
honored to have a
researched,
first
like,
edition.
paper.
I'm honored to have a first edition, and hopefully it blows up for him one day, and I can be like, yeah, I got a first edition, and I got to interview him when he was still just working on it. So like,
Very based. Impressive.
it's
Very based.
yeah, dude. He's super cool guy. I know I shared it with everybody in the group and stuff because I got a PDF copy, but I totally encourage you to go spend. It's like $10 that you can get it after you go to Orange Flavor.
No,
like all together, like with shipping and stuff. Like shipping and stuff, it cost me
great.
about $10. Yeah, the little
And then there's he put in a little thingy. He made a new one.
So well, listen, I'm sad because
He didn't put in this one.
somebody opened my package before it got here. When I got my package, it was already like this.
Ah, fuck! Did they take this one?
Yep, I didn't get that one. So they totally took, because he's
I asked him to sign his favorite page, so
Nice.
he signed this page.
That's awesome.
Which is hilarious. It's when the gun goes off, all nuts.
I just thought it was great, like just the whole storytelling aspect and just all the little neat conspiracy nuggets that are inside of there that they're just joyful, and I like seeing things like that in a different light. Like just with everything else, I hate being the black cloud pointer. I don't want to be a black cloud pointer, and that's why every Wednesday night when you guys get to join us here and for this live, we get to do my most favorite thing that we ever do, which is Pirates Against Humanity. Of course, boys and girls, this is our own live version of the world famous card game, Cards Against Humanity. And we basically just play it in a demented way here online, where I have my box of Cards Against Humanity cards that I randomly draw a black card from, and my guests on the show with me this night, including myself, will also read an answer card that I will randomly draw. I sent them their answer cards already, and I just randomly draw them from my box and take a picture of it and hit send, because you never know what kind of fun you're going to get into. So for those of you that's your first time, welcome to Pirates Against Humanity. Of course, tonight, if you're wondering, once again, I'll make mention, I'm in my Irish gear because we're getting close to my favorite holiday of the year, where I can just party all weekend as a leprechaun and people don't think twice about it. So for our first card tonight, it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of blank.
All right, run that back by me again.
One more time. It is the truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of good fortune must be in want of blank.
Staging a coup. Luis's expression is like that.
A national conversation about race.
What?
My answer was a national conversation about race.
He just wanted the journal.
Wait, was that the
I
card?
seen that card. Yes.
Was that the card?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and it
Is
just
that the
gets
journal?
Card number
Someone
2.
else plays Cards Against Humanity. Likely to be a sandwich. I know that
Likely to
white
be a
card. I have
sandwich.
the bigger blacker box as well. I've
Yes,
seen
if
that
you
card.
if you have cards at home, bust your cards out now. You're welcome to put answers into the chat. Like, we're all about it. So card number 2 for tonight. Mr. Musk, as your legal counsel, I must strongly advise against blank.
Expanding British commercial interests in Nigeria. Sorry, that was perfect.
Making friends as an adult. Luis doesn't know what to read.
Being nervous around white people. I mean, he is African American. Remember, he is African American.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the richest African American in the world.
This is a short one.
That is objectively true and also funny, but I'm still taking the win for that card, by the way. So
fair.
I'm claiming that one. That was perfect.
You blank, bro.
You what? What?
You blank, bro, with a question mark.
You cranking my hog in the middle of a Zoom call? Tubin? 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 Tubin?
You
Tubin?
a skinny submissive husband, bro?
Doing nothing about climate change.
Oh, all right, here we go. My favorite rapper is Lil Blank. Lil Drag Queens.
Christ, I'm gonna get shot. Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome. My favorite rapper is Lil.
I don't have something.
You're going to get me fucking murdered for these. He objectively gave me two of the worst possible cards to propose for this, but nothing else.
Little
works.
Namasu, the giant mythical catfish.
All right. I got
Little
Lil
Pinko.
Lil Pinko in the chat over there.
Run it back.
My favorite rapper is Lil.
The legacy of slavery. Jesus Christ. Seriously. Going to get me murdered for that one.
All right.
It's Colin Jost and Michael Chi on Saturday Night Live, just fucking spitballing with each other. Like, hey, yeah, here, how bad can we make the lines that we're going to hand the other person?
And with that said, and now from WHYY in Philadelphia, it's Blank with Terry Gross.
It's playing the cello like a gorilla having a stroke.
All right, Jimmy, speak in cadence with this one. This one's perfect for this.
And now from WYH8 and now from WHYY, it's Philadelphia. It's Blank.
The breakup of Yugoslavia.
Into Terry Gross.
No, I have another one that's perfect for this. Leonardo DiCaprio having sex with a jar of mango salsa. That's actually better.
Isn't that basically the man in the iron mask?
Getting waterboarded is what I got.
Getting waterboarded. That sounds like something in your future, Jimmy, if you keep messing around with the establishment. It's like, you get waterboarded, and they're like, I'm just a leprechaun. I'm just a leprechaun. Why are you waterboarding me? I'm just a leprechaun.
Still have a few here we need to get through. So
okay, if you guys want to draw another, we'll draw another. Here we go.
Let's keep going. Yeah, I've got
ready or not. Here comes Blank.
Feeding a 3-course Italian dinner to a mailbox. That's just random, so I'm just going with it.
Jimmy lost it.
That's so funny.
What was it again?
Read it back. I'll read it again.
Ready or not, here comes
feeding a 3-course Italian dinner to a mailbox. Luis looks like he's like a part of his soul just left his body.
No, I just can't find the right one. Well, my landlord. I read it.
Here comes my landlord. Here comes the long fingernail guy from the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wait, what now?
Mine was, ready or not, here comes the long fingernail guy from the Guinness Book of World Records.
That would actually, as a black card, that would go well with something else that I have.
Oh. All right. No, we're not doing that because that's song lyrics. I know it is. We're omitting this card. You're on a first date. What's an instant red flag?
Divorce billionaire energy.
Okay, you know what? I'm taking full ownership of this one. Give me $5 to Black Lives Matter. All right. I still got two more I need to. No, wait. I've got three more I still need to find room for somewhere.
3 more, huh?
Yeah.
I wish we'd get a 2 card tonight. Like I love when we get those. Those are always fun to
Yeah, if we could
fill
get
in
a
some of
two
the
piece, I
spaces.
think I've got a perfect one for a two piece.
And I just haven't seen one in like a couple weeks, to be real.
Well,
I don't know
actively look
why.
for a
But
twofer.
then, all right, I'll actively look for a twofer.
I mean, a
Why
twofer's
not?
you got to be more creative. So even if it is a little bit slanted,
True.
everyone on the back foot still has a fighting chance because it can be totally unhinged.
That is true. That is true. The thing is that I am not finding a twofer. I might have to go to the website
That
because
I can hold.
I'm getting to the low end of my black cards. It's time for a new box. Hang on. Card. Well, I guess while we're waiting, you guys can answer. After phasing out orca shows, SeaWorld is now attracting customers with
I'm going to a Maroon 5 concert in 2007. You know, they
I'm
time
sorry.
travel you.
2 seconds. All right, run that one back, Jimmy.
after phasing out orca shows, SeaWorld is now attracting customers with
SeaWorld is now attracting customers with. Shit, where did I lose the last one? Fuck.
Nope, you got nothing? And I got a double card too.
Ah, wait. Repeat that question one more time.
After phasing out orca shows, SeaWorld is now attracting customers with tentacles.
Threatening legal action. It was a throwaway card. It
All right.
was all I had.
All right, no worries. All right. So I've got me a twofer. This will be the last card for the night before we continue on with our ending our nonsense. So you guys are ready? I hope you are.
Yep.
When my wife caught me cheating with blank, she blank.
All right. So repeat the question one time.
When my wife caught me cheating with blank, she blank.
I mean,
She
I've ran
bl-
out of cards, so.
Did you? I thought I sent
Mhm.
y'all the same amount. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
I think
just.
yeah,
He might have.
that or I miscounted. Might be
Aw.
my mistake.
Aw. I can actively send you 2 new cards. Or we can
Yeah, no, let's go with it. If you got another one you can send,
Where's my
hit
phone?
me. No, I think I have a custom card that will actually.
Yeah, you can also use your custom card.
Yeah,
I forgot about your blank card. You automatically get a blank card. I think he rolled into last weekend's cards, didn't you? Because that's the last message I sent you. I bet that's what happened.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, repeat that one more time for me, Jimmy.
After phasing out. Oh, wait. When my wife caught me cheating with blank, she blank. There, Luis. You can pick what you want to pick out of that.
What?
Bam. In your hands. Oh, wait. Sorry, it's being slow. Now it's bam in your hands. It should be.
Okay. It's the last two cards that I've got. No, I did have the correct number of cards. I was just skipping over that somehow. All right,
Okay.
this is all I have left, but it will work. So
Could you tell me the phrase again?
The phrase one more time is when my wife caught me cheating with blank, she blank.
all right, so I have to change the word slightly on the
Go ahead.
last card. just to make it make sense. Otherwise, it's going to hurt my head forever. When
Go
my
ahead.
wife caught me cheating with taking a nap and then taking another nap, she renounced Christ.
Well, when that happened, apartheid happened, and then the Satisfyer Pro 2 Air Pulse clitoris stimulator occurred. She just went for it.
What the fuck?
I just sent cards at random, like 5 cards. So Luis picked what he picked.
That was perfect. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. That was
No, I think that was a great night. I love playing the game. It's so much fun. Like it gives a little bit of laughter, and you never know what kind of unhinged ridiculousness we could say. Like, and so I enjoy doing it every week. And of course, I'll have brand new cards for you guys again next week. And of course, again with next week, anybody that's out there enjoying the show and having a good time, if you ever would like to join us and actually put your input in on the show, just get at me right there on Twitter, or you can email me from the website and stuff, which does go back live shortly. I'm sorry for the downtime. There was a dead space between swapping my new users and stuff, so I apologize for that. It will be back up and running within the next day or so. It finally released everything for me in my emails. So there's that, of course, at unconstitutionalawakening.com. Or, of course, you can find us at UA the Podcast pretty much everywhere except Facebook, because as the 24-time Facebook band champion, I'm just not bothering with going back for right now. I'll eventually pop back up, and I promise you'll be able to figure out it's me, because I'm just going to use an anagram of my name. That's the only thing I can do.
yeah.
But
I had to do the same with mine, and then when I changed it back to my real name, I got banned instantly.
yep.
So I knew I was name banned as soon as I did it.
But of course, I always like to go around and ask you guys if there's anything you'd like to share with the world before we close out for the evening. So Neptune, I'd like to start with you, since you were my late add-in for the evening.
I don't care who the IRS sends. I don't give one fuck. I am not paying your goddamn taxes. Eat my ass.
I mean, that's right there with it. Luis.
Fuck the IRS. Sorry.
Reality is truly stranger than fiction, and you should start thinking how you can manipulate that fiction into your own story.
Hey, I like that. Of course, you guys, you can keep up with all our nonsense during the week. I try to share it over there at UA the Podcast on Twitter right now currently. And of course, just my regular Twitter. You guys can tune into me trolling anyone and everyone that comes across my feed. I don't care if you're left, right, center, upside down, underground. It don't matter to me, man. I like to poke some fun and make you smile. And of course, it's easy to make you smile when you're goofy looking like myself here. And anything and everything that deal with us can be found over at UA unconstitutionalawakening.com, which I said will be back. Of course, you can watch past episodes, whether you're on Rumble, YouTube, Odyssey. You can watch past episodes on BitChute, as well as some past episodes right here on Twitter that have been posted up since we started going live, because going live is kind of fun. And even tonight, we've had quite a bit of folks in here watching. So I appreciate each and every one of you enjoying the show, and each and every one of you that continue to support the show. A big thank you to all of our friends in Liberty too that are out there as well, man. We just keep doing this to do what we do because I love spreading a message. To me, it's never been about any kind of money or anything like that. It's just about waking people up, even if it's just one person at a time. But you guys know I always like to leave everything with something absolutely ridiculous to make you laugh. So what kind of doctor does a transgender man go visit?
Urologist.
A gynecologist. You guys have a fantastic evening.